An album a day is my exploration into the Korean music scene. This podcast will cover mainstream, indie, and some underground artists within the scene and provide both factual and opinionated commentary. The biggest benefit to sharing my thoughts this way is that it will hopefully expose you to more great music and exploration of your own. Well, everyone, it is a new season, so that means one thing and one thing certainly. I'm about 45% prepared. It's the usual. I'm excited because we've got a lot of new features this time around. A few things that I'll need to make sure that you are aware of before we just start diving into content. So let's go ahead and get ourselves prepared to hear about this particular boy band right after the drop.
You're tuned into an album a day. Show start.
Hey y'all, let's get this out the way. I'm still adjusting to my new platform. I'm over on Captivate.fm now, and after being on Anchor for so long, there's some new features, some new functionality that I am still getting used to. So you're not going to hear things in their usual format this time around. The most obvious thing, first and foremost, is that the disclaimer now has the official An Album a Day theme music playing behind it. Which, honestly, it's like, duh, why didn't you do that to begin with? But I don't know, whatever. We are just proud that it's there. Secondly, you will not hear a pre-recorded show closing. I'm going to have to actually verbally say it. Why? Why? Because there's been some changes. So I'm going to knock that out right now. There's sponsored ads and social media hashtags, but this show is truly supported by the efforts of my McGualas, the most amazing fan base a little entertainer could ever have. Special shout out to my Patreon patrons, the student body, the scholars, and the staff, who keep my vision of becoming your favorite foreign Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z a real thing. If you're interested in supporting the growth of this content, please visit patreon.com/multifacetedacg, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get in on the magic too. Interested in continuing your support at the free $99 price? I love you for it. You can still engage with the show and me, your lovely host, when you retweet, repost, and share the show and use hashtag A3Day. And please consider leaving a few stars or a review on Apple Music, iTunes, IMDb, or Podchaser to keep things growing in the right direction. So yes, you have heard new things. So Patreon now has 3 tiers. It's officially 3 tiers, which I never anticipated happening, but the show is growing and there is a new capacity for new types of assistance. So I'm really excited about that. Also, you did hear that correctly. I did say Internet Movie Database. That's insane. What? Yes, I'm not a movie, but I am online content, web content that can be watched online. And for whatever reason, the crazy people over there decided to approve the opportunity of me being able to list my podcast on there. I am not the first. But definitely the page is underdeveloped because we are, 24 hours into this? So that is a whole new thing. If you have an IMDb account, please consider ranking and reviewing the show over there. It will only help it to continue to grow. This is insane growth, to be 100% honest. I didn't anticipate these things. Also, there are new sponsors, which is really, really cool. We have some new sponsors that we're going to share throughout the season. I'm very excited about that. In fact, let me share one with you now.
Amateur Intellectuals is a podcast where we, two friends with a curiosity and irreverent sense of humor, explore a myriad of intellectual topics.
From puberty to fairy tales and everywhere in between, our topics are designed to spark interest in a non-judgmental way for the people like us who are naturally curious. Each Sunday, we bring our thirst for knowledge and alcohol as we tackle new topics, share personal stories, and laugh hard along the way.
As only amateur intellectuals can, we promise you'll learn a little and laugh a lot.
Cheers!
A big thank you to Amateur Intellectuals. I am so excited to share their link to their podcast right in the show notes for today's episode. You will hear from them again, I guarantee it. And the show is really entertaining. Good pace, good content. Please check them out. All right, we are looking at Double A, or, literally the letters A and A. This was a boy band. They were formed by Well-Made-Yadang, and they were formerly known as Well-Made Star M. This was back in 2011. So at this time, the group is currently just 2 members, Woo-Sang and Hook. And you know what? Here we go. Let's go ahead and clarify right now. Okay, we went ahead and clarified. It's Hoik, not Hoik. His name is Hoik. Lord have mercy, be offense. Okay. The 2 young men are the original members of the group. Yes, yes, and yes. However, there used to be much more than that. Used to be. That's the key thing here. Because we always have stuff changing. So it's Woo-Sang and Hoik. And since 2015, Blue Star was acquired by Well-Made-Yadang. So the group is managed, or was managed, by Blue Star because the time is done for them. They are technically considered disbanded. Although some of the content still says in present tense that the group consists of 2 members. I don't know. They went through some stuff. And it's not because there were problems amongst the team. It was problems in management, I guess. I'm a little confused. All right. So we have Woo-Sang, Hoik, Juwon, Jinhong, Kimchi. I'm so dead serious. The boy's name was Kimchi. And Aura. And I'm confused about his. So instead of being confused, we're just gonna look over here right quick. We're gonna go open up a good hot extra tab over here. It really is Aura. Chinchamochi. Okay, so his name is Aoora. And when you actually type that in Hangul, you have Aura. I'm thinking that they were like trying to say he had an aura. Like, what was the Korea? That's the answer. That's the answer. His name is Park Gun-lee. Park Gun-ee, to be more specific. But Aura was his stage name. You ever just not understand? But yeah, Kimchi, he was for real. Yu Ye Hyang-gi is his legal name, but his stage name was Kimchi, which probably worked out very well for them when they had to take pictures. And then Jin Hong, who was the magne. I can't get over them naming that man Aura. Like, what is it? Aura. Okay, anyway, so he was the first one, first and foremost. I keep picking on him, not just because of his name, but he legitimately was the first person to join the group. Allergies. Here we go. Oh, Lord. Then afterwards, they brought in Woo-Sang. And even though they had 2, and Woo-Sang was the one who was going to be pulled in to really assist with choreography, they're like, hey, we might as well just go, full ham. Let's go ahead and get a whole group going. So they later added Juwon and Hoik. And they moved from Busan to Seoul. And that's a common thing. People uproot themselves in order to go find their dream and see it fulfilled. And then they also added Kimchi. And what it says on Wikipedia is he had quit learning the piano and clarinet to do this whole thing of becoming a singer. So, of course, in the usual sense, there are some actual trainees who have musicality ingrained in them from a young age. They are able to play the piano, the clarinet, the guitar, the trumpet, things of that sort. So this isn't too much of a shock. I don't know why he quit it. I guess you can't really juggle the two when you're trying to prepare yourself to become an idol. I don't even know why I said I guess. When that is the common thing, it can't be done as both. You have to pretty much divide that time up. So the song that everybody knows about them, I said about, The song that everyone knows by them is So Crazy. Meet you, so yeah. Like, you have probably heard this song. It was like, I don't even know who this group is. I certainly heard it. I didn't know who the group was. I wasn't a fan. But that song came out in 2011. I became a K-pop fan in 2012, and I still hear that song to this day. And even though it was like a really big deal for them in terms of getting a lot of attention, as it was the mark for their debut, they got tagged as being sexy and charismatic. That bit them in the butt just another couple of years later. And that's tragic. That's ridiculous. I also want to clarify that Woosung became the leader. Now, remember, Aura was the first one to be in the group. However, even though he was the first one and the oldest, it just seemed like a better suited role for Woosung, and he led the charge to make So Crazy be such a big deal for them. So they took some time away, and then they did a pre-release song for their upcoming mini album, which ultimately ended up being their only album. So March 7th, 2013, they dropped this song called Rollin' Rollin'. All right, sounds non-problematic, yes? The song was banned. It was straight up banned from KBS and SBS. They said that it was unfit. What? So let me pull up the lyrics, because how do you draw that conclusion? Maybe I'm being naive. When I heard it, but I heard it as a grown woman. I didn't hear it as some preteen or something. So it starts off with a little bit of English from Kimchi, and he is over articulating while he's lip syncing this part. So, yeah, we just rolling, all day and night, keep falling. Your hips, your lips, your cheeks, baby, I want to kiss, haha, and this is it. Okay, maybe they thought he said that he wants to kiss her hips and her lips and her cheeks. I just thought he was talking about her S-line, the shape of her body. Let's continue on with these lyrics. And the lyrics, I'm reading them from colorcodedlyrics.com. So, okay, just for today, let's just be alone together, you and I. Just for today, just for one day, please. Let's turn off our phones and bum around. I don't want to be bothered by anything, baby. Don't you think the same? The shows on TV are just okay. In the room, we're no problem. Come here, turn down the TV, into the blankets with hushed voices. Crunch, crunch as we eat chips while we watch a movie. We lock eyes and make a movie of our own. All night, I pitifully hold on to you. I just want to keep rolling, just us two rolling. I want to. A love that holds you tight and cherishes you. I want to have that love between just us two. I'm not going to continue to read. Why? Because this is not problematic. Like, the young men start talking about her perfume and manicure and all of that. Like, there's nothing in here that straight up says, I'ma just throw you down. Now, there is when you go a little bit further, just a little bit. He does say a peck is too boring, so shall we kiss? If a kiss is too boring, shall we keep rolling and rolling? First off, that's asking for consent. So I don't know. I guess just because of my age and the things that I'm were exposed to. Even then, this song dropped in 2013. I was 28, for crying out loud. So I would not have seen too many problems with this. It's a little flirty. It's not dangerous. He's not saying he's trying to like take her down. He's not forcing himself upon her. Like, how do you deny the aspect of sexuality and intention and physical engagement and just be like, nah, we're not going to allow that? They already came out with a song talking about it makes them feel crazy. And y'all said they were sexy and charismatic. And then you want to turn around and be like, ooh, but no, don't say that. Don't say that you want to eat potato chips under some blankets with her. They're making a fort, for crying out loud. So the unnecessary implied innocence, if you will, of Korea is a very interesting thing to me sometimes. It really is. And I mean, I can't act like me growing up in America doesn't have an impact on how things are interpreted and experienced. It might have been much more important then to maintain a stance of chaste and being able to divert from that. It's not like we haven't come across any other albums before where some songs didn't get to see the light of day in terms of performance. I don't know. I do know, but I don't know all at the same time. So they eventually released on March 27th, 2013, Come Back. It peaked at number 12 on the Korean charts, and at the time of this recording, it's listed as having a little over 1,500 units sold. Not a lot of sales, but decent enough. I had to dig to find the track list for this. That makes no sense. Makes no sense. Like, you can't just click the link and see it. You can't just type up their album and easily see it. I had to do a combination of English and Korean, and eventually it brought up something where I could see it. So the EP had 6 tracks. It's about 18 minutes in length, if you will. And it was published on Sony Music Entertainment Korea on March 25th, 2013, although the release date, as I said, was a little bit later. So the tracks are Come Back, Twinkle Twinkle, aka Rollin' Rollin', the song we just talked about, Agea Dance, W Interlude, which I do like that, Michisokure, I'm So Crazy, and Bulo. I keep snorting. I need to blow my nose. Oh my God. Every episode, there's some crises. Every single episode. It's a full-bellied pop album. Pop, diddy pop, 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 pop. Even the way that it's listed in terms of its genre, straight up says pop. And that's exactly what it is. And it gives them a solid limitation, unfortunately. By saying they're sexy and charismatic and whatnot, you shove them into this pop hole that they won't be able to come out of. And they legitimately couldn't. They just couldn't. One of the members left. This came back in March. Then one of the members, Juwon, he was like, yo, this has been fun. This one little activity that we did together, but I'm called to the stage. I want to be an actor. So he was just like, it's been fun. I'm out of here. He left. And then thereafter, in May of 2015, their magne was like, yeah, this has been fun as well. We're not doing anything. So I'm going to just go ahead and pack up and move to a group that we here on the show have already heard about, 24K. He became a member of that boy band. And then Kimchi just dipped out at some point in time. So it's just like, what happened? Like, what really happened? Then their contracts just expired in 2016, the remaining 2. Was it that they saw that they were going to be pigeonholed in this one space? Or was it really not worth it? It makes no sense. Like, they weren't the most dynamic singers, but the album isn't bad. It wasn't like they were struggling to put something together. It was relevant to the time. It was, nose into the midst of the scene. It made sense sonically, production wise, song lyrics choice, the video content. I don't get what happened. I do not get it. I don't understand. In 2013, they released a couple more singles. Rollin' Rollin', like I said, was, the one that came before Comeback. But later on in that year, they released Midnight Taxi and Okay About It. Neither one are on the EP. They were on Okay About It, which was a single album, just all on its own. It had those 2 songs and possibly an instrumental. I did not break my back trying to find it because I was too confused as to how things just did not work out for this group. I wonder if management, did management just give up? Like, it makes no sense. Well Made Yadang is most certainly still around. It's not gone. And I know that they made a move on their own. Low-End had something to do with some of their distribution. And we've briefly talked about Low-End. We've never talked about Blue Star Entertainment. But it ultimately doesn't make sense, y'all. It don't make sense. What the hell happened? I don't get it. I don't get it. So, K-pop fans, on a scale of 1 to 5, Jesus, Joseph and Mary. Hold on, y'all. I'm over here speaking in this booth, and my nose is like, hey, let's let your allergies just shine on through right now. It's because it's hurricane season here in Texas, and we have a historical, unprecedented 2, hurling towards the Gulf Coast. And wouldn't you know it, I live in the Gulf Coast. So air pressures and whatnot are inconsistent, and I'm just struggling. I feel like the little kid in the kindergarten class who mama cleaned their nose right before school started, and by the time she left out, it's just running. Like, I'm legit having a runny nose right now. Oh my God, am I not an adult? Help me. Okay. K-pop fans on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being essential listening and 1 not worth mentioning. The A3Day ranking for this album and the entirety of their discography is a 4. It's unfortunate that they did not get the opportunity to be able to go further. I don't understand why it happened. I would love to be able to find one of the members and try to find out if that was something I had the capacity for. You never know. There could be some sister shows coming for A3Day. But right now what's coming is me turning this microphone off so I can go blow my nose and go take some allergy medicine. Tomorrow we will be not in a discography. In fact, we are going to be celebrating someone who has 20 years in the game. And this entertainer is absolutely undeniable. Long reign the queen, Boa. We'll talk about her tomorrow, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye, y'all.